Monty! Good morning, buddy!
Is Monty smaller than 26 cubic feet? Will he fit in the trunk?
I think our next guest is kind of looking.
Yeah.
What in the world
are they doing? Good morning. It's the Inwell Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Monty, the singing donkey. We have Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more, Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us
Monty
today.
is a subscriber.
He is a subscriber.
Why aren't you?
Yes. Why aren't you? Oh, Lord.
Golly.
Well, I can't help it. I know that there was a request. What's happened to
Monty requested
and
it.
Monty is still alive and well. And Pinky actually posts stuff about Monty every day on Instagram and every once in a while on Facebook. So there you have it. Welcome to the show, everybody. We just wanted to start it off on the right note this half hour. That's Monty the Singing Donkey. And Chris Harto, if you're not familiar with Monty, you need to do that. And maybe there's a consumer report in the offing here that we can get Monty on there as a spokesperson for something, I'm sure. Consumer Reports, Chris Harto, good to have you with us, my friend. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You bet. I know that's kind of an odd intro. You probably never experienced that before, but you can go on and
Never will again.
never will
You can
again.
tell your grandchildren about
That's
that one.
exactly right. So electric cars and plug-in hybrids that qualify under the Inflation Reduction Act, which is something that just passed recently. So we're going to try to sort this out, and we turn to Chris Harto with Consumer Reports to please try to explain this to us, because, you know, for years we've had the $7,500 credit if you buy an electric car.
For up to 200,000 vehicles per manufacturer.
Right. And I know that Toyota, I think, has reached that cap, and I think maybe a couple of others have.
Yeah.
But is that even still out there, Chris?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of changes that have gone into effect in the past week, and even more that are going into effect over the next couple of years. The biggest thing that people need to know about today is that the requirement that vehicles need to be manufactured in the U.S. to qualify for the credit went into effect last week. So if the vehicle is imported, it no longer qualifies for the existing credit. But if it's made in the U.S., if it's manufactured in the U.S., it will qualify until the end of the year. And then there's a bunch more requirements that go in at the beginning of next year.
So why did Consumer Reports jump in on this and say, hey, look, you know, here's how it works? Because I think, at least for me, it's become really muddied. It muddied the waters. I don't really quite understand everything. Yes, American-made, but do the same restrictions take place with those companies, like, for instance, Toyota, that reached the limit of the number of vehicles? So that doesn't apply to Toyota
Has that been
anymore?
reset, Chris?
So yeah, the reason we jumped in is because, you know, we're here to help consumers navigate this challenging landscape, and it's challenging. So again, the built in the United States requirement goes into effect right now until the end, and it's there forever. But some of the other requirements don't go into effect until the beginning of next year. So at the beginning of next year, the cap goes away. So companies like Tesla, like GM, like Toyota will no longer be capped out, and they will be eligible for the tax credit again. But a number of other requirements go into place at the beginning of the year. Income limits, so it limits the use of the tax credit for families making $300,000 or less. There's some price caps in there. So an SUV has to cost below $80,000. A car has to cost below $55,000. And then it adds these more challenging requirements around the percent of the materials that go into the battery have to either be manufactured in North America, or critical minerals coming from countries that the U.S. has free trade agreement with.
Oh
so
my
this
gosh!
makes it really complicated and hard for consumers.
As a regular person, well, I'm not regular, but a person navigate all of that? That's just so much. I mean, it's the $7,500 thing. That was easy, but this isn't.
Well, read Consumer Reports, because I think that's why they did the story.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that plug. I appreciate that.
And subscribe.
Well, the other thing too is let's not mess around here and just get to it. The fact that Toyota can be made in America, because there are a lot of plants here in the United States that build Toyotas.
Yeah, absolutely. Just about every automaker has some North American presence, some manufacturing capacity here in the United States. So there's nothing that says long term that any automaker shouldn't be able to meet these requirements down the road. It's just the transition. It's going to take them a while to get up to speed, build factories here, build the battery factories here, build up their supply chain from qualifying countries. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a complex and messy transition as automakers adjust to these new rules. And these tax credits, unlike the old ones that went away after 200,000 vehicles, are unlimited, and they exist till 2032. So there's some time for automakers to adjust and still take advantage of these.
So what is the easiest way to find out if your XYZ car that you're really interested in meets all of the criteria for you to get this discount?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a tool on our website to help consumers, cr.org/EV savings. That'll help guide you through some of this. But in the short answer is, in the short run, it's still going to be complex. Ultimately, we think the IRS is going to come up with some rules that require automakers to certify their vehicles in advance, so that there can be a list online. There'll be a clear list. We're hoping down the road they'll actually get the tax credit eligibility on the sticker. So when you go to the dealer, that tax credit amount will be on the sticker. When you go to buy the car, it'll tell you exactly how much credit you might be eligible for on that specific vehicle. But that's going to take some time. Those rules still need to go into place, and so there's going to be some challenges in the meantime.
Well, I think that this really holds true, just like every other car purchase that you make. You need to go to the dealer and be knowledgeable, so you know going in, this is what is available to me, because I can't imagine that every car dealer has a salesperson that is familiar with all of that.
Doubtful.
Doubtful. And so you really are probably going to have to school him.
But the tax credit comes after the purchase. It's not included in the purchase.
Correct.
It actually comes. You buy the vehicle, and then in the future you apply for that tax credit. It's not that they give you the discount on the sticker. Isn't that correct?
So there are some changes coming that way too. For the next year and a half, you still have to apply for the tax credit on your taxes at the end of the year. But starting in 2024, dealers will be able to register with the IRS and be able to give you that tax credit at the time of purchase.
That's why they needed the
when
other
you go to purchase the car, the
87,000.
dealer will be able to knock it right off the price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that way, all of us who don't want to purchase an EV can donate to those who do. Sorry.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
It truly is.
So, Chris, how long have you been with Consumer Reports?
I've been with CR for about 4 years.
4 years. Do you have a math degree?
I have a chemical engineering degree.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why he's doing this.
He understands the batteries and the chemistry in the battery.
Not only that, but he can work all those numbers and letters and stuff.
You had a chemical engineering
So,
in the
Chris,
70s.
I did.
Is this still only applied to new vehicle purchase?
That's a great question. The $7,500 tax credit applies to new vehicle purchases, but there is a new used vehicle tax credit going into place. Again, starting in 2024, a used vehicle will be able to get up to $4,000 off. There are some restrictions on that. The vehicle has to cost less than $25,000, and the income limits for that used tax credit are half of what they are for the new tax credit.
Oh my
so
God.
$150,000 family income or $75,000 income for an individual.
Nothing the government does is easy. It's always got to be complicated, so it's difficult to collect.
And these
I
are
mean,
gasoline
ultimately.
vehicles. They're not the electric ones yet.
No, he's talking about.
You're
The
talking
EVs.
about electric cars and plug-in hybrids, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So if it's electrified, there is a chance, a very
Depending on
small
where it's
chance,
produced. Well,
yeah,
pretty large chance that it's eligible. And I
something.
posted your cr.org/EV savings on our social media so that people can click on that and see if what they're looking for qualifies today, tomorrow, or in the future, because that is kind of a moving target, as you've said.
So is there a story that goes along with the breakdown on how all this works as well that you guys have posted?
Yeah, there is. We have a couple stories up online that'll walk people through all of the changes, all of the the specific requirements that go into place and when they go into place, as well as laying out what we think in terms of the vehicles that'll most likely qualify now and in the future.
Were you just thrilled when you got this assignment?
I love talking to you guys.
Good answer. Good answer.
All I can think of is, okay, so I'm sitting in the editorial meeting.
I'm the young guy here. I've only got 4 years with him, so I get this story.
We're going to screw him on this
No,
one.
he just gets this story.
Oh, my God. And look at the
He spent
smile
a lot
on
of
his
time and
face.
effort building this story.
I know
That's
he
right.
did, but what a total pain in the rear. I mean, to navigate through all of that, then you got to come up with how you're going to communicate this. I mean, what a challenge.
And
What a
it
challenge.
changes January 1st. It changes again in 2024. So it's not just today. It's in the future
It's a moving target.
as it evolves.
Yep.
So, Chris,
Yep.
you've pretty well answered our questions. What questions should we be asking, though?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Do I
Yeah,
qualify?
I think ultimately the automakers are gonna complain. They're gonna for a while, but I think they're ultimately gonna comply. And ultimately, the old tax credit was a little bit easier to understand, but it was kind of a catch-22 because that 250,000 unit limit pretty much ensured that as soon as an automaker built an EV that was popular and people wanted, they immediately ran out of credits because they sold too many EVs. And so, again, with these changes, although there's a lot of complexity and there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the transition, ultimately these tax credits are going to allow automakers to build large volumes of popular vehicles, which means they're more likely to be able to get them down into the mainstream segments at more mainstream prices. It's really going to help get more middle class consumers.
Now,
EVs.
when you talk about tax credits, let's just say, for instance, it's $7,500. We'll use that as a random number. Is it the full $7,500, or is it the taxes that you fall into the category for the $7,500?
That's a great question, and there's still a little bit of uncertainty there, but we believe that when you're able to transfer that tax credit to the dealer, when that part of the credit goes into effect in 2024, that will take care of the tax liability. The tax liability will no longer be part of the equation. So if you don't make enough money to qualify for the full $7,500, you can transfer that credit to the dealer, who will have the tax liability and
Who is it that came up with this archaic, bizarre, complicated?
Nancy Pelosi and the whole crew.
Joe Manchin.
Yeah.
100% of this is Joe Manchin. He held the final vote on this bill. He thought it was very important to make sure that the EV tax credits went to American jobs and make sure that it really helped drive an American supply chain, a more secure supply chain for electric vehicles.
Like people in West Virginia are buying many EVs.
Yeah, a lot of them. So yeah, because they got to run their stills.
But they may be working in an EV battery factory soon.
That's true.
Or in EV part manufacturing.
Yeah, one of those mines.
So if you buy an EV, you get your own personal IRS agent.
Ooh.
One of 87,000 new ones, huh?
So Chris, do you a couple of things you said right there. So once in 2024, once this all rolls over to the dealer, being able to apply the credit to the price, are you thinking, or I'm thinking? Let me rephrase it. I'm thinking, okay, here's my negotiated price. That $7,500 is going to come off of that negotiated price.
That's the way it should work. There's some requirements in the law that the dealers have to be upfront about, how much of the tax credit they're eligible for, how much they're getting, and they have to, give the consumer that full amount, or they lose the ability from the IRS.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, if I'm buying a $60,000 car and I get that credit, so now my out the door price is $52,500. Well, now I've got to pay taxes at my county level, and I'm thinking, well, that'll save me a couple of bucks there too, because I'm only paying it on that $52,500.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, but if you look at what Ford just did on the Mach-E and the Lightning is, they see this $7,500 tax credit coming, so they raise the price of both of those vehicles by $8,000 and $8,500. So I think this is still susceptible to confusion at the retail level as well.
Yeah. There's always a risk that the automakers and the dealers are gonna be able to capture some of this tax credit. Ultimately, we hope that it drives a more competitive market. Right now there's still fairly low volumes of EVs, and demand far outstrips supply. So automakers and dealers have a lot of power, a lot of pricing power in raising those prices of EVs. But we hope that, as more competition kicks in, as more vehicles hit the market, as more volume hits the market, that some of that pricing power will return to the consumer.
Chris, what are you driving right now?
I drive a Metro train and an electric bike. I do have a Subaru Outback that I take occasionally for longer trips. But I mostly use public transit in my electric bike.
Must be nice.
That said, I can't wait to get into an EV. I've actually been trying to trade my Outback in for an EV for 2 years, and it's been nearly impossible to get a hold of any of the ones that I want at anywhere close to MSRP, and I'm not quite ready to pay a $10,000 or $20,000.
Now wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. You have an entire fleet of cars at Consumer Reports. You just can't take one of those?
So I'm based in Washington D.C. And our track is out in Connecticut. So I occasionally get to fly out there and drive all the cool cars that we've got on the track, and drive them around town, drive them when I'm in town. But unlike our folks out at the track in Connecticut, who get to drive, whatever's at the track all day, take them home, drive them around. We don't get that.
Plus, he's only been there 4 years.
And when you do get that EV, we will guarantee you a tax credit.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Chris, it's great to talk to you, as always. We love you guys at Consumer Reports. Where can we find the information online?
Just go to cr.org, look at our auto section, and you should be able to find the stories on these tax credits.
We appreciate you, my friend. Let's talk again soon.
Yeah, thank
you. Nice talking with you guys.
You bet.
Next time.
Okay. Chris Harto.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Wonder if he wants to come back.
He'll never. We started off with Monty the singing donkey. He's going, what in the world have I gotten myself into?
My brain is burning after all those numbers.
Yeah, exactly. We'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. Our address is info@inwheeltime.com. Did we satisfy George this morning by playing so. Monty?
If George is satisfiable.
You've
known him longer than we have. Have you ever satisfied George?
Go ahead,
answer that.
I doubt that. Let me put it that way. I doubt it. Most stolen cars of 2021. Any guesses?
Prius.
F-150. Silverado, Toyota Camry, Honda Accord. No, maybe not Honda Accord. May have fallen off by now.
Nope.
Dodge Ram. Have I gotten a few of them?
Some.
Okay. Well,
So we start.
start from the bottom.
Number 10, Toyota Corolla, $13,000.
Okay.
This is nationwide, by the way. Number 9, the Jeep Cherokee and Grand Cherokee.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Right there with the Toyota Corolla at $13,000. Honda CRV. Honda CRV.
Well, I think
What?
that has moved to their number one seller.
13,000 total thefts. Nissan Altima,
Again, their number one seller.
It's a crossover to a Camry kind of size.
14,000. GMC pickup,
Yeah.
half ton, full size,
Based on volume, those are the highest volume vehicles. So
15,600.
if everything being equal, those
This is what it's
those are
reported.
falling, right?
Number 5, the Toyota Camry, 17,000.
Always on the list.
Now we're going to jump
From 17,000
to 30,000. Honda Accord at number 4.
Honda Accord's still on it.
What? What?
I thought Honda Accord would have fallen off. Well,
Why
you
would
got to
you
think,
wanna-
when you sell 400,000 vehicles, if 1% of your vehicles are stolen, you have a higher percentage than the car that they only sell
I
10,000
guess.
of.
I guess, but I mean,
40,000, yeah.
if I'm going to be a car thief, I don't think I'm going to go after the Honda Accord.
Unless you know how to steal it.
Or
maybe there's something about that car and some of these cars that make it easier for the theft to happen.
Yeah, that could be.
And that's why
The
they
thrill
do
of
it.
it, and then the parts.
the Joyrider's not a big deal, I would think. I would think it'd be the chop shops and stuff.
Well, here's the interesting thing about this list. There are 1, 2, 3 cars from one manufacturer. Honda. Okay, so I said the Honda Accord. Number 3 is the Honda Civic.
Oh, wow.
31,000.
Again, there must be something about that car that
Quality
makes it easier
parts.
to steal.
Hondas. Number 2, the Ford pickup full size at 47,999.
Drum roll, number one.
The Chevrolet pickup
Yeah.
truck for 48,206 total thefts.
There's a list Chevrolet wishes they weren't the top of.
Well, none of these. I mean, today, really, how?
And that list hasn't really changed a lot over the years, except back when Oldsmobile was in business and the Oldsmobile Cutlass was number one forever.
Right, I'll bet.
Oh,
Was it really?
Oh, yeah, it was
Of
forever.
course, they made a bajillion of them, and you know the funny thing about those? You just don't see any Cutlasses.
No.
Of all of the bajillion Cutlasses that
My
they
brother
made,
had one. I had one.
I had one. Well,
Yeah.
the family had
Yeah.
one.
And
And
you don't
they
see
were
'em.
so popular. And now the new thing, apparently, is 80s cars. Well,
yeah.
hello there.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking maybe we'll start seeing some Cutlasses going
Yeah,
for
Monte
$80,000 across the auction block.
Monte Carlos.
Doubtful.
Yeah. Citations.
The Buick Regal GNX.
Oh, yeah.
Couple of interesting stories making headlines this week. Tesla's use of the name Full Self-Driving, or FSD, has been criticized because the features require active supervision and don't make its vehicles autonomous. They're going to start charging $15,000 for the driver assistant features.
Wow.
Full self-driving,
They pay extra for the wreck.
raising the price of the controversial product for the second time this year. The hike for customers in North America will take effect September 5th. Current $12,000 price will be honored for orders made before that date, he wrote. Elon Musk. Tesla shares fell as much as 2.7% to $866 a share. Oh.
So, we had the guy on from Dodge a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about they're going to be releasing a new version
Right.
of a Hellcat Charger.
Every week or so,
Challenger,
yep.
every week, every month.
Month.
So they released the first one called the Challenger Shakedown. It's the first of their new V8 muscle cars and kind of the last of their V8 muscle cars. This is a well-equipped with a long list of standard features: Alcantara upholstered seats, carbon fiber interior trim, adaptive cruise control and navigation. But it's largely an appearance package. But it's going to have the shaker hood again and the 392 engine and shakedown graphics, Brembo brakes, and 20-inch wheels and tires.
Cool.
Nice.
So that's the first one. They got 5 more to go.
Well, speaking of Dodge, Dodge believes there's an opening in the compact crossover segment that can speed through with its upcoming Hornet, even if the muscle car brand seems out of step with someone who buys a Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V. Brotherhood of Muscle is going to continue on. The Hornet RT plug-in hybrid variant, Dodge's first electrified vehicle when it arrives early next year, will surpass 285 horsepower while generating 383 pound-feet of torque. The Power Shot feature can supply an extra 25 horsepower burst on demand at 15-second intervals, which I thought is pretty cool. It's kind of like the push-to-pass feature on an IndyCar. And it's going to go under $30,000. They've had more than 14,000 pre-orders on the first day it became available.
So it's going to qualify, if it's made in the United States, for the $7,500.
Well,
Cool.
Does he say where it's going to be built? I don't see that in the story. But at any rate, Dodge is making some noise.
Yeah, that would be interesting because that drops it down to
whirring noise.
22.5.
Worrying noise.
Well, this is a hybrid, so with a little 4-cylinder in it, that actually piques my interest.
Well, like I
things
say, if you can get that 7,500, now you're looking at 22.5.
Yeah.
And then Chevrolet is going to halt Corvette production because of supply chain issues.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
It ain't
All right.
so.
The time now for a quick break. We're right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeart Radio.
Get out the permanent marker and write on your wall calendar the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, September 17th, 2022. It's the fall edition of Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Lupi's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rod, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Lupi trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's Tailpipes and Tacos Fall Edition, Saturday, September 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the beginning of fall and the return of the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday morning, September 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, and don't forget, that's only a few weeks away, so be sure and mark that on your calendar, the Tailpipes and Tacos event.
Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InRealTimeCarTalk.